Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Drawing and Talking with me, your host FreebieWits. And today we're taking a look at another roleplay repository character named Skipper, played by D Dragon the Loud, with a capital D at the front, followed by a lowercase d to spell D Dragon. I don't know if that's actually how it's pronounced, but I assume it is. Now, I'll preface this all by saying that Skipper is a wonderful character. However, she is also the most disappointing character I have ever drawn and read. Not because the character is bad or anything, but because I was betrayed by my own expectations. You see, when I first got this character and I looked it over, I had a look and saw, okay, this character is named Skipper, she has a mask, she has goggles that cover her identity. I thought this was a superhero character when I first saw them. I saw that their name was Skipper. I was frustrated that was not the case when I read through it. She is not a superhero character at all, even though she kind of looks like one. No, she is a sci-fi pilot type character. So, once again, Skipper is an amazing character. It's just that, once again, like I said, my expectations betrayed me. I really like superheroes. I really wish I could draw a superhero character more often. Anyways, enough talking about what Skipper isn't. Let's talk about what she is. And the thing is, she's described as an overconfident smuggler who is secretly worried that she can never find her way home. And as far as I'm concerned, being overconfident is probably the best negative trait you can give any kind of character in a role-play scenario, a story scenario, anything that needs a character to do anything. If you have a character with the negative trait of being a coward, you have to thrust them into an adventure. If they're greedy, you have to dangle some sort of money in front of the adventure. An overconfident character will see the adventure and think, heh, I can do it, and then go in over their heads because they're overconfident and screw themselves over, and that's why the story is a story then. As far as tabletop characters go, she's perfect. She's a sci-fi character who knows how to drive well. She can be sneaky from what I can tell because it's mentioned that she steals spaceships to get the job done. Oh, and of course she's pretty good with tech and repairing stuff. So, in the context of her party makeup, she'd essentially be what we call the skill monkey. She does all the side stuff not directly related to combat and such. As a LARP character, this becomes a bit harder. Obviously, if you have a space station type setting, she'd be perfect. She'd be, like I said, that sci-fi smuggler who's good with technology. But the piloting, the actual ship flying part of her character would take a bit of a backseat since we can't really drive stuff in LARPs. Now, in theory, I suppose you could set up computer stations with video games on them and treat that as the actual flying portion, and you have to actually fly in the video game before walking into different parts of the actual space stations in real life that were set up as props. But other than that, I don't see a safe, good way of doing it properly. Now moving on, we have the actual art that I'm drawing of her. Here's something I've noticed. All of her art just show her as a character standing around looking cool. None of it shows her flying a spaceship. So I decided to show her driving a spaceship that she's just stolen. A cramped little tiny shuttle. Something that she doesn't look like she's enjoying. I inserted a bit of gremlin into this one. It amuses me greatly because of it. And that's basically where my decision-making process went when drawing this character. I decided to make them a bit of a gremlin, just for a bit of fun. Also, another thought, and this comes back to one of my first things I mentioned about her, I think she would work in a superhero setting regardless. Not just because of the costume, but because Skipper isn't actually her real name. Her real name is Diane, or Deanne. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. D-I-A-N. Either way, she has a real name, and of course Skipper is just her superhero name. I don't know what her powers would be. It could just be she's a sci-fi hero with laser guns and the ability to summon spaceships out of nowhere. I suppose Star-Lord in the Marvel Universe technically doesn't have superpowers unless you watch the second movie, in which case he sort of does, but then he doesn't. So she could be a superhero in that specific regard. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed my drawing and talking video about Skipper, And I do hope you'll comment, like, subscribe, all that usual stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.